Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and do you remember this video that I posted like 2 months ago? Well, good news. OP just posted a new update, and we will be covering that today. And as per usual, if you've already listened to the original video, you can skip to the timestamp on your screen right now so you can go directly to the update. But if you haven't, don't worry. The entire story will be compiled on this one. So without further ado, you better sit back, relax, hold on to your Dragon Balls, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll begin. I asked my wife for a separation. Posted by Reddit user Adept Arrival.
I asked my wife for a separation yesterday. We got married in September. 5 days before our wedding, I discovered that she had lied about her involvement with her ex-boss, a married man with 2 kids, and she had been having an affair with him for the entirety of our relationship.
By the end of this, you are going to be crying like a little bitch.
Essentially just dating 2 men simultaneously. Typical trickle-truths due to shame. It supposedly ended August 31st when she found her wedding dress. There are a lot more red flags regarding this, but I am trying to move past the affair itself. I was guilty of not enforcing the boundaries I had set, and she was guilty of not respecting my boundaries and continuing to manipulate me and lie and deceive. Lots of breadcrumbing and gaslighting. I succumbed to the pressure of our families, the sunken cost fallacy of the wedding, my love for her daughter, my love for her, and elected to continue with the marriage and reconciliation under the following conditions. She would end all contact with her affair partner and any other men she was previously intimate with in any capacity, actively pursue counseling, actively pursue her relationship with Christ, actively pursue a healthier lifestyle of a better diet and exercise, and to cut out unhealthy coping habits such as binge drinking, eating, and pornography. She agreed and promised that she would do whatever it took to ensure she was never that person again, and so that she would never hurt me in that way again. Among other vows, I baptized us together the night before our wedding and had such an amazing day together when we wed, and asked all of our family present to help guide us and support us, and to help hold us accountable to avoid the mistakes made previously. The last 2 months have been an absolute roller coaster. I started a new job that requires me to be gone for significant amounts of time. We discovered she was pregnant, something we both wanted dearly, even before the affair. She miscarried. Dynamics and priorities have shifted. She started out strong. Contact with the affair partner and other men. To my knowledge, she has not communicated with her affair partner at all or other men inappropriately. She immediately gave me access to all of her devices, set her iMessaging up on my iPad, and has been relatively transparent. However, we have had 6 men over the last 2 months reach out to her that she was previously intimate with in her past before me. I asked her to delete or block anyone she was intimate with. She didn't. Boundary crossed. She even offered one of them to come see us, not just her, whenever he was in town. We agreed to change her phone number so that the triggers would not continue for me. However, she still has men reaching out to her through her Apple ID. Counseling. She immediately signed us up for Regain, and we pursued couples counseling together. We did this for about a month, and we decided that the counselor wasn't the best fit for us and that we would find a new one, as well as individual counselors. I found an individual counselor immediately, through a referral from my previous one. I also found her a referral through my new counselor. That was almost 4 weeks ago. She called them the first week and left a voicemail, and only after the risk of separation did she call them again yesterday, claiming that we can't afford it and she's too busy. I am paying for it and have referred her. Boundary crossed that she would pursue counseling. 1 week is understandable. A month is not. Her relationship with Christ. She has done a wonderful job on the spiritual front. She is active in church and devotionals, although this has waned since the miscarriage, understandably so. Immediately following the discovery of the affair, I invested hundreds in premarital books, devotionals, Christ-centered recovery, etc. We have completed one of maybe 12. Never completed our Christian premarital counseling. Healthier lifestyle. I signed her up for a gym membership as she expressed interest in it and has been a gym goer historically. She has gone once with me in the last 2 months and walked with my mom once. She has not changed her diet. She claims she does intermittent fasting, but then her one meal of the day is cookie cake, bowls of mac and cheese, or girl dinner. Crossed boundaries here.
Good Lord, how is he so fat?
Unhealthy habits. She is codependent on her family. She has no support groups outside of her immediate family, who also struggle with alcoholism and abuse. They deny that my wife is abusive towards me and through her behaviors and will not hold her accountable to honoring her promises to me. My wife claims she needs alcohol or a buzz to help her do chores. While she is not a typical alcoholic and doesn't drink regularly, when she does, she drinks in excess and typically gets sick, claiming she will never do that again only to do it again 2 weeks later, after she miscarried. Instead of pursuing healthy support, she spent $150 on a phone video game and $150 at TJ Maxx of the money I gave her for bills and subsequently was unable to pay our bills and had to get more money from her parents. I understand that a miscarriage is devastating to a woman, especially one that already has such low self-worth, but I have tried to pave the way for her to establish healthy coping mechanisms, counseling, church, reading, exercise. I am unable to provide a lot of emotional support as her husband because I am still in immense amounts of pain and I too lost a child, although I know it is different. She made multiple commitments and has broken most of them, always claiming excuses. Too busy, not enough money, her timeline looks different. Her family is under the impression that I need to accept her no matter what she does. I have rebutted that I will always love her unconditionally, but I cannot continue to let her cross my boundaries and self-destruct. I can love her without being with her. They have said that she will only find self-worth when she knows I am truly committed to her and that my love is unconditional. I tried to explain that this is the epitome of codependency. I am not perfect. My mindset has shifted pretty negatively. I have pressured her to get healthy for our marriage and child. I have lashed out in my pain. I shut down and get angry when I see yet another man pops up on her phone, because I know she is just going to minimize her relationship with him only to find out she was intimate with him at some point. I jump to conclusions when I get triggered because I don't know what I can trust and what I can't. My patience and grace are very thin. I have not been able to provide the support I would like to provide for my wife during the loss of a baby. I feel like I have been breadcrumbed again. She gave me just enough effort for me to marry her and did for a short while afterwards, but has since tapered off. My counselor, our old marriage counselor, my Celebrate Recovery group, my uncle who is a strong Christian mentor of mine and my family have all emphasized the importance of me setting and enforcing boundaries. So I asked for a separation and I haven't budged. I have been cussed out. I have been guilted for actively distancing myself from my hurting wife and precious stepdaughter. I have been accused of not wanting to connect with my wife through physical touch and quality time. I have also been begged to come home. Instead, I sit in my hotel room while I train for my new job that my wife encouraged me to take and watch my home life dissolve from 2,000 miles away. And I am constantly accused that it is solely my responsibility to stop making mountains of molehills, that although she caused the initial hurt, I am the one preventing us from moving on, that I need to give more grace and forgiveness, that I am in the wrong for lashing out in my pain. I want my wife to be happy and healthy. I want to have a happy and healthy marriage with her and raise beautiful children together. She has so many redeeming qualities, but she has a lot of demons as well. She lives in a self-destructing prison and it hurts me to see that it is so obvious what she needs to do to get there, but she is so blinded by her own traumas, shame and mental illness that she cannot handle the overwhelming to her tasks in front of her and she does not have the support groups in place to help her get there.
Everything you say to me is pissing me off.
We qualify for an annulment until March 15th. I hope it doesn't come to that and that something begins to stir in her, but it is clear that this relationship in its current state is toxic for both of us. I do love my wife unconditionally, but I do not need to continue an abusive marriage with her. I recognize that this is just my side of the story and she has a different one, but these are my truths. This is all I have that seems like reality to me, but my view on reality has been so scrambled by her affair that it is difficult for me to discern what actually is real and what isn't. Maybe I am so far off base, but the mental damage caused doesn't allow me to see it any other way. If you are religious, please pray for us, but especially her. She needs all the help she can get. I just can't give her any more.
So let me get this straight, OP. She is a single mom, she's fat, she has a drinking problem, had been unfaithful the entire relationship, constantly blame and gaslights you, and you still married the bitch.
Why are you still here?
I don't even know how you can think this is even remotely okay. OP, please, for the love of Jesus Christ, get that annulment as soon as possible. At no point in your entire relationship was she ever faithful to you. She doesn't even know what it's like to be with only you, given the fact that at least 6 other men had been reaching out. It's safe to say she wasn't only sleeping with her boss during your relationship. You should run for the hills, man. It's for your own good. How many second chances does she need? Posted by Reddit user Adeptor Rival.
We tried to continue to reconcile. She finally started seeing a counselor, and the 3 sessions she has had seemed to have a significant effect. Then she stopped going to church. Then she stopped going to counseling. Then she had her baby daddy over to visit without running it by me. I firmly expressed I was not comfortable with him being at our home alone with her while I was gone. She fought me on it. He should be able to see his daughter, but I am not comfortable with him in my house or alone with my wife while I am not there. She eventually caved and had her mom come be with them, and then gave me the silent treatment for enforcing my boundary. Then she started disappearing with one of her male students. Let's call him Jay. 2-hour work session turned into 3.5-hour work sessions. 3 hours turned into 4.5. They started getting coffee together. They started getting lunch together. He is around for nearly every one of her appointments, even the ones they don't have together. I noticed this trend. I expressed I was uncomfortable with him and the level of interaction their relationship was beginning to have. She acknowledged it and said she would not allow him to sit in anymore. This was last Thursday. Last night, I got a picture of my stepdaughter at her Christmas musical. Jay was in the background. I then found out that my wife and her family took him to dinner afterwards too. He is her student and client. I expressed I was uncomfortable with him. She did not communicate with me he would be there or that she invited him. I found out by a third-party picture of my stepdaughter. She assures me that they are not having an affair, and the dude is not attractive at all, but my wife's behavior is unacceptable. She refuses to take accountability for it. She knows I am uncomfortable with him, regardless of the reason, regardless of past infidelity, and elected to deceitfully spend an evening with him. She has had an explosive meltdown the past 2 nights regarding me, stating that it was unacceptable behavior of a wife who is trying to repent and reconcile. Even if there was not infidelity, it is unacceptable behavior and disrespectful to our marriage and me as a husband. Her excuses are I told you he wasn't anything to worry about, so I didn't think you would care. And I invited my students because I felt bad they are separated from their families for the holidays, and I don't think what I did was unacceptable, even though I knew you were uncomfortable. This isn't a dictatorship. You don't get to control who I'm friends with. I have extended our separation to the new year. She has flip-flopped between divorce and counseling and back to divorce. I have signed the annulment paperwork and need to get her to sign it. I am trauma bonded to my wife. She is beyond toxic to me. She is cruel to me. She disrespects my boundaries with men. She has abandoned me as her husband and the vows she made to me before God. But I can't fucking walk away. Her talons are deep. The fantasy I had of her and our future is too strong. I know I need to leave and never look back. I know I need to demonstrate the consequences of her actions. How do I leave?
Seriously, how pathetic can one man be? OP, you need to get that annulment as soon as you can. She cheated on you the entire relationship. That fantasy of yours that you had for your future, do you know what that fantasy is?
I'll tell you what it is. It's just some stupid legend passed by your filthy monkey ancestors around a campfire like it was their own dung.
So how do you leave? OP, you just do. You've been disrespected enough and it's never going to change or get better. You need to start sticking up for yourself. But unfortunately, I sincerely believe you don't have the balls to do it. So good luck with that. What a disappointment. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.